trying to do is put the orca into the bucket. Now, to do this isn't actually that difficult, and if you can remember from your Year 7 project, there are actually some very simple tools we can use. Now, first thing, I'm going to move this orca and put it roughly where I want it to be, leaping out of the bucket. Now I'm going to zoom in to do this, to make sure that we get it accurate. Right, so I've got my image. Now I might decide to make that a little bit bigger, just to make the whole thing look a little bit more drastic. And I don't need to worry about this flipper being outside because I'm actually going to be cutting it off anyway. So that's roughly where I want it to be. I want it leaping out of the center of the bucket and aiming for freedom. So I'm now going to zoom in some more. And I'm now going to take my orca layer and I'm going to drop the opacity. Obviously if something's opaque, it is not see-through. So I'm going to drop down the opacity so I can now start to see through it. There we go, that's just about transparent enough. Now I'm going to go to my polygonal lasso tool. And all I'm going to do here, because the only bit I need to actually cut off is just from the edge of this bucket. So I'm now going to trace a nice neat line just around the edge of that. Then I'm going to come outside of it and just encompass the entire bottom area of the tail. I don't need to worry about the bucket because I'm not on that layer, I'm on the orca layer. And now all I need to do is press delete. To get rid of my marching ant selection, all I do is click in the center, and then I can put the opacity back up on the orca layer, and when I zoom out, you will see that that is now a pretty effective image. Now, I need to merge these together, and to merge things together, you can just use the shortcut Control-E, but you must make sure that your layers are right next to each other. And you want to select the one that's on top. So I've got my orca there and my metal bucket there. Now if my metal bucket was somewhere over here, what would happen is my orca would merge to this background layer rather than the metal bucket. So I have to make sure that it's where it should be. Now Control-E merges down, so I'm going to select the layer that's on top and press Control-E. Now if I go to my move tool, you'll see that that is now one image. Now it's currently a little bit too big, so all I'm going to have to do is hold shift and shrink it down. Once I have it to the size I want, I can just double click and there we go. I've successfully used two images to make a new image.